So I think we are live and stuff with more Xenoblade Chronicles. And to help me with my chronicling, we have the ever illustrious Madhog thy master. For Madhog to get some kind of idea of where I am and what I am doing in game.
I
Keep in
have
mind.
a pretty good idea, but please do go on.
Okay, so first thing you're going to see is my blades.
That's exactly what I wanted to start with. Perun. Perun is the absolute worst. Along with the Shiba, he is the only other one with a very specific gimmick having to do with the Argentum
Warehouse.
warehouse, yes.
I hate Boreas. It's like all of the shit with Shiba, only without a really good blade to compensate you for it.
Oh, yes, you hate Boreras. Okay, sure.
I
Right.
I've actually used Shiba as in my main party through most of the game, and she's awesome.
Okay, Ross, I'm going to start with asking you something simple. To whom have you given Boreas to Nia?
Yes.
That was a wise decision because I'd like to talk about preferential classes with your playable characters. Because you see, technically you are supposed to be able to customize the various characters in this game however you want, depending on which blades you are going to get them to use. But inevitably, some of these characters are going to be far more suited to specific roles compared to others.
In fact, they actually tell you what their role is supposed to be right above their name.
They suggest you what their main role is supposed to be by the very first blade they come with.
That too. So we have Rex, who is the master fighter, Nia, who is the master healer, and yes, I know I'm using a common blade, but it has salvage increases and is just overall pretty darn good for a common.
Yes, I categorically refuse to use Philistine generic blades in any other situation other than just solving the occasional field puzzle.
Plus, it was a healer class, and the only other healer blade I have on her is Ursula, which I constantly have to send out on freaking merc missions.
Yes, that is annoying. By the way, speaking of side quests relating specifically to blades, you know by now that I am, say...
She is has nothing equipped to her right now. That's weird.
Obsessed with this game.
Yes.
I've started tweeting about it the very first day I started playing it. And ever since then, I posted everything from snarky comments to pictures to legitimate critical analysis and thoughts. I basically reviewed the entire game scene by scene on my Twitter. By the way, I'm plugging my Twitter since I'm here. You can find me at Adriano Bordoni1. Maybe you can add a little bit of writing in the bottom of the screen if you can, but you don't have to. Anyway, so one of the staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. I love the idle animations in this game. They are fantastic.
I mean, she's not even the right blade for Poppy to have Alice as his starter, but I just am so amused by her idle animation. I just want
it's the best. Yes, absolutely. I think everyone has fantastic idle animations in that regard. Not to mention on-point banter, depending on whom you have selected in the active party. For example, one of my absolute favorites is Nia, being her cat-like self, trying to catch a bug that seemingly keep pestering her throughout the entire game, but she can never catch it. Anyways, I was saying, one of the last things I did on my Twitter was ranking from worst to best all 30 of the available quests for the blades, which I call also stands, because I started calling them stands from the very beginning, and they are basically that, functionally, so...
Oh, I can probably finish Shiba's quest now.
Shiba's quest is my number 1 ranked quest, in fact, in that ranking system. If you've gone past a certain point, you might have found out why it is the absolute best.
That she buying an island in the middle of nowhere with all the money that you've given her?
No, that's not it. Maybe you have not come to that point yet, but you will at some point.
Well, then let's do it. That's something for us to do.
Actually, no. Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm going to stop you right there. First things first. Actually, more like 10th things first. But show me the Merc missions.
I've done most of them.
Well, have you continued doing them? Okay, you are currently engaged in 3. Good. I wouldn't want you to slack off in the Merc missions. They are the most expedient way to... expedite way, I should say, to get easy experience points. And to level up trust bonds with the blades you are not currently using in your active party.
Agreed. The one thing that's killing me right now is almost all the ones I have left are like strength 35 plus, and that's like battle party material.
Yes, I know. That's why you need more blades, and that is why I am here to help you with that. Because other than the usual manner in which you unlock blades by playing the awful, god-awful, god-forsaken lottery, slot machine or pachinko machine with the core crystals and whatever it is they do in that fantasy null space. There is another way, which is for blades that are specifically available in
certain side quests. Yes,
certain side quests and gimmicky ways.
I do have one blade that that I can't use yet.
Oh, so you have already done the Core Hunters mission. Good.
Yes.
Because that's actually one of the 3 things I was going to suggest you to do.
I just kind of randomly ran into it, so I was like, okay.
No, you don't randomly run into it.
I bought the information, and then I wasn't even looking for that side quest, and I just kind of ran into it.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
If you buy the information, they tell you that they are stealing core crystals in Gormott. So really, all you have to do is go to Gormott, the province of Gormott, and Torigo.
And go to the right place there.
And you find the question mark that initiates the quest. But that's good then. In my official ranking, which I'm now basically elevating as the one true mission ranking, because as far as I know, I'm the only one who bothered to do it. In my official objective mission ranking for all the side quests for the blade, the theory and praxis... Oh, by the way, get it? Theory and praxis, that is so clever. The theory and praxis trilogy, because yes, there are 3 quests for these 2 blades.
Jeez, I haven't found the second one yet.
Well, you will find it once you unlock the necessary trust levels for the blade you currently have and you haven't unlocked yet.
So I had to get praxis up. Okay.
And then you do her side mission, which will get you theory. And then once you level up theory, and both theory and praxis, in fact, then you can access the final mission, which is the one to end it all.
Gotcha.
But all these 3 missions are basically ranked individually at a 6th, 5th, and 4th.
Okay.
6th, 5th, and 4th in my ranking. I basically had them all lumped together for everyone's convenience.
Gotcha.
Like I said, Shiba is my #1 quest simply because of one specific moment that made me love this game more than anything else in the world.
I just love the fact she just flies around like a bathtub for no reason.
Yes, that's pretty decadent. Fun fact, I've only unlocked her after I've already unlocked the Daga's blade, and Daga's is basically Kefka. I see this guy and I think to myself, there, this is the most decadent royal wannabe prince guy in the entire game. There is no beating him. He manifests a throne as an idle animation to sit on. And then I got Shiba, and she drinks tea in her floating bathtub, served by her own water elemental. That is even better.
I love having her out, but she is so big that it actually can lead to problems in narrow areas.
Okay, now on to me criticizing you.
Okay, what did I do wrong?
Okay, so as I told you before, certain characters you play as are better suited for very specific types of roles.
Yes.
Rex is better as a physical attacker.
Correct.
Nia is a healer, but she's also very good with light weaponry such as knuckles and katanas, and she's quick. She's the quickest one of them all.
Yes.
Which is something that I like. She's my favorite character to play as. Both because I like to be...
Let's actually do something while we're talking, at least.
Yes, you can start walking if you want. She's my favorite character to play as because, one, I like to be in control of who is healing whom. And two, she's the fastest character.
Attacker, gotcha.
And I always favor speed over brawn in my
makes
games.
sense. I gotcha.
Now, like I said, certain characters are better suited for specific roles compared to others.
Correct.
That said, there are some blades who are better suited for specific characters compared to others.
Correct.
And I know this because I've experimented aplenty. So, the problem with that is that a certain blade will have a specific set of attacks, of arts, I should say, with a driver that will not be available for another driver.
Yes.
And unfortunately for you, long-distance attack blades are much better valorized by the likes of Nia and Morag, rather than Rex. Oh, I see you're doing the... You're doing the Nin quest. Fantastic.
I didn't intend to, I just walked in. Hey, something just triggered.
So, speaking of the Theory and Praxis quest, you bought that information that unlocked their quest from an informant, right?
Yes.
Have you bought the greedy monster information?
Yes, I have.
Do you know what to do?
I do not.
Perfect. Let's take a trip to Morardane.
Okay, so we get to go to the place with, in my opinion, the best music.
Oh yes, absolutely. It is the best piece of orchestral glory that this game has to offer, and this game is no slouch when it comes to good soundtracks.
Okay, so we'll go to...
I said Morardane, not
Morardane?
Tantal.
I'm sorry.
I will go to Tantal soon enough, don't you worry.
Okay.
Lower level, please. So as you can see, there is a fishing spot, or I should say salvaging spot, but let's face it, it is also occasionally a fishing spot for giant
Yes.
monsters, which is ridiculous, and I love it. I fished out a freaking kraken at
Yes,
the
I did that in
cliffs of
Tempura.
Varia.
Tempurio, whatever.
Temperantia.
Temperantia, sorry.
Temperantia. So there is a fishing spot. You see in how do I describe it? It's not the first one; it's the second one. Yes, in that same direction.
So by the Eggle Jetty?
More or less, you have to go in that area, the area that was once closed off for you from this direction. You have to go in that area. Please go there.
Okay. We'll go to the nearest travel point.
Oh, and by the way, you know, and you have noticed about these hidden shrines, these hidden elemental shrines, have you not?
Hold on. I got, my group came back.
Are you satisfied?
Oh, that's like all of my rare blades on this one.
Have you done Wulfric's quest yet?
No.
Okay. Oh, I see you have unlocked freaking Bess. That was a fun quest to solve, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had to guide that one.
Yes. So, I enjoy the side quests in this game more than I do the main story, because the side quests are pretty efficient in exploring the main themes that the game already gives you, which provide useful and compelling world building all around. I mean,
Yes.
the writing is not the strongest and the theming is transparent, but unlike Persona 5, I'm actually having a good time with it, so that's a win for me.
Gotcha. Hold on, let me just send these guys out to do stuff. I don't think I have enough quests to actually max out the, mercenary rank, though. Is there another area that opens up later on?
You can just keep doing quests over and over and over. You don't have to do new ones. They will collectively compile each other in terms of experience points.
And we'll
Gotcha.
do what we can.
Okay, so Ursula is one of my top 5 bottom quests, I believe, in my ranking. Official, mind you, official mission ranking.
Oh, yep, this is official. The Monolith put this shit out, yep. Okay,
Anyway, so in this area here, there was a shrine, right?
I'm not familiar. Yes, I remember now. Yes.
Okay, so you might be wondering what's the deal with these seals that you are destroying.
I didn't
Clearly not
destroy it
thinking
yet.
of the consequences. Well, there are 4 of them in between Gormot here and Tantal, I think, and Uraya. And
Actually,
they
let
are
me see if
only-
I can... I know there's a warp point right to it.
they
Let me
are
see if I can
only
find it.
relevant to you once you have the Zenobia Blade and her quest available. So right now they are pointless to you.
Okay, so then how do I get the Zenobia Blade?
By playing the lottery game.
Oh boy.
Okay, so back to present time. That was an aside. I want you to go salvage in that spot that I mentioned to you before.
Oh, I have to go salvage here? Okay.
Yes,
Let me
that's
just-
why. That's why I said I wanted you to go to the fishing point or salvaging point.
Okay, gotcha.
Or
Okay,
both.
let me just get towards the ground level.
Just jump.
Whee!
Whee! Oh, me quads! Okay, what really made me fall in love with this game were such details as a mullet pompadour cockney man taking falling damage and yelling, "Oh, me quads!"
Not so fond of fish.
I don't know why I
Instead-
still collect everything from these collection points. They don't seem to
Oh.
do anything.
I have never stopped doing that. You never know when you're going to be needing anything from any given random number of fetch quests.
All right.
Okay, you need to be fetching, I was going to say, salvaging up until a certain monster shows up.
That one? The Kraken?
It might just be the guy you wanted. It is him, Gluttonous Marin, or Martin, Steve Martin. Yes, let's kill Steve Martin. Let's kill
Good, I
famous
can get
comedy
behind that.
actor. Let's kill famous comedy actor Steve Martin for his role in Looney Tunes Back in Action, which
Seems
I actually
legit.
enjoyed. I actually enjoyed that film. Damn it. It's better than Space Jam. So, I'm assuming that by now you have figured out how to do the proper armor break, topple,
Yes.
launch and smash combos for maximum damage and overall cool looking effect.
Yes.
Right, well, congratulations, Ross! You are now the proud proprietor of the world's most unlucky core crystal.
The lucky core crystal.
Oh, yes. So, guess to whom I have given this core crystal.
You gotta give it to Zeke at that point, right?
Absolutely! I mean, it's the perfect combination.
Also, they took my chest away.
Oh, yes, well, that's a unfortunate side effect of cutscenes kicking in right after you salvaged.
Okay. Let's have Zeke open the lucky crystal.
Let's open the Pandora's box. No, wait, Pandora. He already has Pandora. Never
Yes,
mind.
Pandoria.
Pandora, yes. You know what? Whatever. It's not actually clever. It's not a clever name. They
It's
added
not, no.
They added an I in Pandora. All right. Here comes the second best quest in the entire game. Oh, hi, I am Cassandra, named after the famous Greek mythological gal who predicted all those disasters, and nobody believed. What could possibly go wrong?
I will work day and night.
I
to
like
ensure our
Cassandra,
happiness.
she is fun. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Don't worry about you later.
No, set her up right now.
No, I thought the easiest way to deal with her was going to be to send her on, like, Merc quests to level her up.
No, no.
Okay.
The best way, the absolute best and most expedient way to level up your blade is not only to have her
wish I could share my
in
luck with
your
everyone.
active slot, but to feed her constantly.
Uh-huh. Yes, you've told me. Let's give her a decent weapon. What do I just have lying around?
Also, after that, mind showing me her trust scale, trust graphic PowerPoint presentation. There it
Okay,
is.
so...
Right, so do me a favor and go a bit within and locate where her quest is. I think it should be in the second tier. Second or third tier. Not all the way to the end, which is good.
It's the third one.
Okay,
Or
perfect.
daily bread.
Perfect. Right, so she will get the first few experience points easily if you solve quests while having her in your active
Gotcha.
party. And the rest of it can be easily arranged by essentially spamming the pouch item button.
That she likes, yes. Okay, so where are we going next?
Next, we are visiting Tantal, so please relocate yourself in the capital city of the most epically desperate continent.
No, I loved Hantel's music more than Moradane's.
It's a tough choice in between the two of them, if you ask me. They are both really good in their own way, but they are also the complete opposite from each other in terms of the tone that they convey. Morardane, similarly to Tantal, is struggling to stay alive. But unlike Tantal, the people of Morardane have not given up on hope. They are strong-willed, and they will fight for their survival. They are motivated to stay alive. So the music reflects that willpower. Therefore, you have an upbeat, orchestral desert adventure accompanying you in the land of Morardane. Conversely, you have Tantal, which is a frozen tundra and wasteland, and people are dying, starving to death, and they have lost all hope, seemingly. So the music reflects the tragedy of it all in the most emphatic way possible.
Yes.
Also, here's a subtle detail that I really appreciate. If you compare the choir of voices from Tiosuar, the capital of Tantal, I don't know if it's pronounced like that. If you contrast it with the music, the choir you hear in Indol,
yes,
you'll notice a interesting difference in that with Indol, the voices are singing, the Gregorian chants are singing about coming together and being stronger together.
Yes, I noticed that, actually.
In the other
And this
part,
one is basically, it's almost this, like solemn choir about,
will the suffering ever end?
Yes.
They are asking.
Oh shit, increases battle experience by 10%. Yes, please.
Will you please let us die already? I cannot stand this cold anymore.
Pretty much.
And I think that's very interesting if you consider what kind of relationship Tantal and Indol share together.
Yes.
This contrast has been made thematically much more powerful because of that. I think the soundtrack is both the best and the most multi-layered and complex element of this game when it comes to theming and storytelling.
I think actually the soundtrack might just be the best I've ever heard in any video game. I mean, it's a tall order, but I think this beats out other really fantastic scores like Chrono Cross's.
I'll be honest with you. I agree in part, but not about everything. I think the overall music, overworld music, and music in general like that is fantastic, but
give me a destination so I'm not aiming going aimlessly while you talk.
I'm going to give you a destination in a second, but let me finish my thought because I'm on a roll.
Okay.
But when it comes to the music during combats, I am not very impressed. I cannot even, in fact, remember what the music from half of the boss fights in this game, even counting the final boss fight, is like.
True, they actually are the least lasting parts, but that's also because they went out of their way to make such a completely I would almost call this world that they've made like almost completely fully realized, if that makes sense.
It is a completely fully realized. One of the strongest elements of this series is usually the setting, other than the music. I do love the concept, the idea of entire different human civilizations with their own costumes, and yes, even their own particular evolutionary quirks developing in the backs or even in the stomachs of giant creatures.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Anyway, so will you please show me the map so you can stop this incessant wandering?
Well, I just bought some deeds. Anyway,
That's good for you, you capitalist jerk. Just
Oh.
destroying the economy.
Oh yeah, I have the economy of everywhere I can go to maxed out.
This is not a good message.
Okay,
Anyway,
so where am I going?
show me the map of Tiusua, if you please. Right, so you see at the bottom there the underground exit towards the other region, the other part of
Yes.
Tantal. The one you have to access in order to take that very roundabout journey down to the
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
downmost level of Tantal. You go there, please.
Okay, on my way.
Also, by the way, I hope you are sleeping in inns fairly often. Not
Yes,
just
I know that's how
because-
you level up.
No, not just because of that, but because if you have certain blades in your active inventory, I want to say, you can unlock specific cutscenes or even quests.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay, now, let's see. There's supposed to be... Oh, I think it's right there. There is supposed to be... Wait, stop. Go back. Right at the entrance, you go... Stop. Okay, you see... Go up the stairs. There is supposed to be a cracked wall there.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yes.
Break down the wall! Break
Okay.
down the wall! Break down the wall! I couldn't resist the Pink Floyd reference.
Let's see if I have this,
Even
stats
if you
for it.
don't have it, you can just... I think you can equip as many as you need,
I
honestly.
need to get Wolfric back. I think
You need to get Wolfric. It's going to be worth it.
Okay, he's out on a quest. Oh well, looks like
I
that's
know.
wasted.
You're going to equip some Hearth Master too.
Yes. I'm sacrificing half an hour on this.
It sounds.
Well, it's not big deal. It happens all the time.
Okay, so let's get some Earth Mastery going. Who masters the Earth? You don't do it terribly well, but whatever. Do you have more Earth Mastery? No, of course not. Anyone else with better Earth Mastery that you have? No. Okay, well, it's gonna throw you on here.
Hats off to meet your expectations.
They would be better if you send them off missions more often.
I send off the ones that, specific...
Okay, now you should be sending every blade that you need to off those missions, because not only those missions are a good way to improve trust levels, but they also unlock abilities that do not require you defeating specific unique monsters.
I'm aware.
Which means everything else.
I am definitely aware of that.
I'll do my best.
I don't know what you are aware of or not, so
Oh,
I'm
I've
saying...
definitely encountered that. I think I have... No, I can't have the... I thought I would have something with Earth Mastery too by now. Like, I'm certain I had at some point. Oh well. I hope we
It doesn't
have
matter,
enough.
just equip as many Earthlings as possible.
She doesn't have Earth Mastery.
Yes, sometimes the seemingly obvious ones do not have the seemingly obvious powers.
Oh
Hey,
boy.
wait a minute. Did I see Florin?
Florin.
Do you have Florin amongst your blades?
Is he a rare blade? If
Yes.
I don't believe so, but
Okay,
let's-
because I thought I saw them for a moment, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I do
Oh.
have Florin.
Florin is an Earth Master.
She's already equipped to another character.
He.
He. Wow, okay, it's a he. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, the problem now that Rex is a blade master is that I have to scroll through everyone's blades to find one that he already... Earth Master 3!
Indeed. Right, so...
Oh no!
You know what I love? What I really love about Florin?
I don't.
His side quest is titled Nature Boy. So he's the Nature Boy, Rick Florin. Woo!
Okay, I had it. I freaking had it. Where did he go?
Why are you struggling so much with this, Ross?
I don't
Seriously?
know why I can't find the freaking blade I need for him. I just had like a level 3 Earth blade. Where
What do you
is
care?
it?
Just equip. Just go through every character you have and have them equip
There it
whatever
is.
level 1 or level 3.
Okay, there we go. I have it now.
Don't waste so much time concentrating on one guy. Jeez, man.
Nature, lend me your strength.
Okay?
Great Earth, I need your help.
Use my power.
You see what I mean? With the power of 10 Earths, Captain Megaplanet is born. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow, it's a sealed altar, a very ominous looking altar as well, hidden away, that requires a hefty blood sacrifice.
Oh god.
That seems like a great idea.
I don't think I have the materials necessary to do this.
You have several. Also, really, just to collect fish, that will work too. You
I
see?
mean, I literally don't think I have enough to
No,
get
you
it down.
don't. Well, it's easy, Ross. Go buy fish.
Go buy fish.
Go buy fish. When in doubt, go buy fish.
Okay, which it's either lazy crayfish, poison flash, or yeah, lazy crayfish or poison flash. Are they sold here, or do I have to go elsewhere?
Maybe you need to forage.
What the heck?
What? Oh, you fumbled into Wolfric side quest. Aren't you glad?
I stumbled into one of his before.
That was a secret cutscene. But yes, it was a foreshadow for a foreshadow. It was foreshadowing this quest here. Right. Wolfric has one of the better quests, in my opinion.
Is he okay?
My description for the Wolfric quest was, Wolfric is friend to all human, said mankind's greatest ally as he flew towards the setting sun as a choir of Japanese children sang his theme song. That's how I described it.
Wolfric reminds me of like a xenomorph tried to be friendly with people.
Wolfric is basically Gamera. He is the friend to all children. Or at least he wants to be. But he's misunderstood because he is so big and scary and daft.
Down in the tunnels. The rest of us tried to shift the rocks. But
Okay, so I have to wait for this to finish playing to do the thing that we were supposed to do.
You need
Ah! Jeez, man. Personal space.
No kidding.
the monster
Oh.
can talk.
Hey, relax.
The monster
Wolfric
talks.
isn't a monster.
Wolfric is played by Boris Karloff.
Okay, so while this is playing for color commentary, let's talk about the game at large at the moment. I love the settings that it sends you into. I think the fantastic. I think some of the most awe-inspiring were the Uriah,
I'll do it.
Indeed.
and the
Why did he run
Archipelago.
off like that?
Yes, I'd say that the more beautiful they are, the least friendly they are to navigate in.
No
except-
kidding!
Well, except the archipelago. That was refreshingly straightforward. But Uraya is freaking abominable to traverse, I have to say. And it's also the largest location in the entire game.
Yes. Yes, it is. So...
That
Yes.
soundtrack, though.
Yes. So the thing... And they don't sell anything I need. Let's go elsewhere then. But,
I'm afraid you will have to actually look for the fish yourself.
oh no. Let's try the trade guild first.
Ah, yes, let's talk about the Nopon. Or, as I like to call them, the Snarfs.
Honestly, the whole way of talking doesn't bug me. Like it, you know, I could imagine it definitely would.
Surprisingly.
They actually somehow pulled it off in such a way that it's more endearing than it is annoying.
Well, I wouldn't completely agree with that. Meh, Rex, yes. But, with that said, the greatest side quest, no, the greatest saga in the entire game has to do and culminates with a Nopon. And
Okay.
speaking of which, have you been completing quests in Morardane relating to conspiracies and anti-imperialist groups?
Yes, I did
Okay.
most of that. I got where is it?
Okay, so
no, I think
have news.
I did clear it. Yes.
I have news for you.
What's that?
There are 5.
No, it's
5.
Insurgent Investigations. Where am I on this?
Okay, that I think that might be. Is that the one that where you have to
I
solve a
couldn't-
murder?
Yes, it's Bellyful Canteen. I couldn't get there at that point because I didn't have the character with super strength with me that I needed to open a valve. So
Okay,
since I'm not going to
this.
get anywhere on that fish one right now, let's go to do some of that.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. That is only mission 1 out of 5 that you need to solve in order to get the most satisfying payoff in the entire game and the true final boss.
Really?
Yes, the true final boss, and it's totally worth it. Trust me. Trust me.
The true final boss.
Oh yes, it is the best boss.
Is it capitalism?
It's no, but it's about as good.
What have we here? What do you think of this?
It's really good. Oh, I love it. It's the best.
Oh shit, let me rearrange my blades before I get caught in a fight somewhere. That happened to me just earlier today, so I was doing some exploring. I had to put like forestry on all of my shit for like one particular quest. And then I was just, you know, polishing up a side quest in the land of Mortha. And I ran into a notorious monster, and I was holding my own for a while, but number one, I did not have optimal blades equipped. Number two, I got into a situation where I totally and irreparably screwed myself. So, you obviously know about Pyro's third form.
Yes. Which
So-
is actually not so much as a third form, so much
As like
as
a
it is
super
a
mode.
fusion.
Yes, it's like a super mode, let's just put it that way.
No, it's actually supposed to be the original form of both
Yes.
Pyra and Mithra.
Okay,
you know,
but
before
for
the
functional
personality
sake,
split.
for a functional sake, we're not trying to spoil actual like stories things here. But for a functional sake, it's basically like a super mode. Well, I had the chance to go into it, and instead, for some reason, I started a party chain combo. and I immediately kicked myself afterwards because I drugging like every enemy in the area into the conflict and just could not stand it.
Okay, so
So I like literally kicked myself because I was like, "Fuck, if I had only
Right.
done that first and then I would have easily killed this monster."
yes, I think by now you must have figured out the best way to deal with the more difficult bosses, which is to say, essentially, bombarding them with as many elemental chain
please.
attacks as possible,
Yes.
at least 4 of them, and then once they are beyond the middle of the lower half of their complete total HPs, you activate the super Ig Sobredo mode,
Yes.
and then the chain attack
Mm-hmm.
for maximum carnage.
Yes. I don't know why I didn't do that, if that makes sense. It's like
Maybe
one of those
you've
things
been
that
playing this game for too long.
No, this was on a lunch break at work.
I won't let you down. I hope. at
So it
least.
was like one of those things that I was just kind of hurrying and I really didn't intend to get into that battle. So that might have been it. Let me get...
So I think you can,
I
if
wish I
memory
could share
serves
my
me
love with
right, you
everyone.
can buy
You
the
just leave it to
fish
me.
you
I'll use my
need,
brains to put this team
or
to
the
good
items you need, somewhere else. But you know what? You have enough money. When in doubt, just buy all the food. Just assume to buy the food that has blood in it, because, you know,
I thought it was going to be this way. Oh, hold on,
FD, blood sacrifice.
let me bring up the map. It should tell me what it is. I still find the map system in this game less than optimal.
Yes, it is incredibly frustrating at times. I'm pretty much sure that the general
Oh no, I
consensus...
definitely was not in the right place. God damn it. I couldn't figure out how to get to this one.
It can be a bit labyrinthic. The general consensus amongst the critics is that the navigational system, the map and all that, is not very convenient for the player needs, because it doesn't really do a good job in telling you how to get where you need to go.
How do I get to the other side of this?
Ah, yes. You're going to need a key. There are 2 keys that you need to retrieve from this basement.
Okay.
And you might as well just go back to the entrance.
Where I just came from? Okay. You mean the entrance or this entrance?
The entrance of the entire industrial block, which is to say...
Okay, gotcha. Oh, wrong place.
No, wait.
Yeah, wrong place.
Upper level?
Yes, it's this one.
Yes, that is the one. Okay, so I'm going to try and help you navigate through this maze of old abandoned factory rooms, which is not going to be easy because on my end the game footage I'm receiving is extremely choppy.
Come out.
There is supposed to be a room with a collapsed floor that you need to go into.
Yes, this one. Oh, I just fell into the... That's not
Yes, there is supposed to be a key there to retrieve.
good. I probably got that one already. I know
Okay,
I got
there
like
is a-
one of them.
There is another one that's protected by a unique monster further down on that level. So you need to go look for it. Just explore the area. You'll find it.
Let me see. What keys do I have?
You have the keys and the deeds to a lot of places.
I do.
So we were discussing about the very interesting setting that this game has to offer.
Oh yeah, this game's world is awesome.
Indeed.
So I can't
Actually,
here.
I think you see, take the roundabout route. I think the setting from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was even more interesting than the one in this game. You see, in this game there are several titans, several monsters into a cloud sea, but there is much less of an intrigue about these giants because we seem to be far more conscious, yes, conscious of what they are and what they do. And there are people, bad people, who aim to control them too. But anyway,
Okay, so I definitely don't think I'm going the right way, am I?
no, you definitely are not going in the right direction. You know, it's really the base level.
So the very
Anyway.
bottom?
Very bottom. I mean, okay, you saw that room, right? You need to find the entrance, which
Yes.
means you had to go behind it, but
Yes,
you're
I'm
going
aware of
up,
that.
which is wrong because it doesn't work like that. Physics and
Well, okay, but
Sure.
I thought the path into it might be upper or lower, that's all. Like, so this is the room.
yes, that's a door that you can open. I think. Have you tried opening it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, in that case, you need to find the entrance backwards to that. Okay, fair enough. Just explore for a while.
Yes, I haven't tried that yet.
And I can tell you for a fact that you're going to the wrong direction.
Yes. Maybe it's up there? Nah.
Okay, now, okay. Go back to the entrance of the entire block. But this time, do not go north, go south.
Okay, I was doing that before.
Look, it's actually much harder for me because I can barely understand where you are going because I'm not receiving good quality footage for Skype.
Okay, so if I keep going this way, I'm going to...
So as majestic and magnificent as the worlds are in number 2, number 1's world
What have we here?
was just the back of 2 gigantic warriors perennially, eternally frozen in a sword fight.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool. And I'm at a dead end again.
Wait, that is supposed to be the room where you find the other key. Which means you have it already.
Have that one. Apparently I'm missing another.
Okay, I know what the problem is. I know what your problem is specifically.
Okay.
You need to go back to the room with the collapsed floor and
Okay.
fall down from another hole. I thought you had that key first and the other one you haven't found yet, but it turns out it was the opposite.
Okay.
Anyway, since I brought up Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I might as well talk a little bit about it. Yes, it's a objectively worse game than this one, in many ways. It was such an infuriating experience.
This game does have its own share of problems.
Yes,
too.
but as bad as they are here, that's nothing compared to the problems that the original game had. Keep in
Yes.
mind, this game is the polished version of that one.
And this game definitely is lacking in polish in a lot of ways.
Yes, indeed, but on the other hand, it fixed a lot of the original problems and even added some interesting functions. For example, there were no blades in Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Interesting.
I see. you're about to kill the entirety of Akatsuki.
This'll be a
Akatsuki? Oh no!
If only it could have been so simple in Naruto.
Right? Actually, a
Right.
lot of the time in battle, I'm intentionally dragging it out so I can get Mentora or whoever blade I'm using to maximum affection. There we go.
I learned pretty quickly that trying to get trust points via battle is the least practical way to do it. Because
I mean,
no matter how long you fight or whom you fight, you will only get 10 points, a given 10 points, fixed 10 points number of points. And only if your blade achieves ultimate golden line trust levels,
yes.
which is bollocks.
Yes. Agreed.
Come out.
Anyway, so there were no blades in the original Xenoblade. The stands or personas or blades are something completely new that was added for this game.
Come out.
Okay.
And I'm thankful for it. It makes the gameplay overall much more streamlined and less stressful, because you see that everything you do is aimed at improving your relationship with a blade, which is achieved fairly easy. I mean, it can still be a grinding experience, but it is much more straightforward at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
There it is, there's the key.
He
You
doesn't
will-
care.
You
Just
will
doesn't
need
care.
that. Yes, because they are too under-leveled. You will need that key for another quest down the line.
Oh, good. Okay, let's see if I can open that fucking door that's been driving me nuts for, the better part of a week now.
Anyway,
I can quick whoop near it.
so what's great about this game, other than the addition of the stands, is that the whole friendship points
Friendship.
Is-
Friendship.
is let's defeat them with the power of friendship, mates.
Yes, he actually says that.
I know, I love that. So cheesy. There is another door that you might want to open. That you needed that specific key in order to do so.
Well, this is the only one that I knew of that I hadn't opened yet, besides the one that I came from.
Okay, so you know there is a closed-up door in the back in the surface, right? That can only be opened from the inside. At the bottom,
I did get
at
that
the-
already.
At
I'm
the
pretty-
top, of the map of the upper level,
Oh.
compared to where you are now, there is a door that can only be opened from the inside. That's because you're supposed to circumnavigate the entire area and come back from the citadel, which is to say those external stairs, metal stairs, and go to the utmost part of the construction, and then you will get there from the rear.
Oh boy.
That's
Okay,
the
okay.
idea. You might as well do that now, because you will need that door to be open anyway for a future quest.
Okay. So go
This-
back to the city, right?
Fun times with Xenoblade Chronicles. Excitement. Doors to open. Mazes. Industrial deserts.
This area is just too much.
Let's get
Well,
going.
it's not anywhere near as bad as the old factory, if you ask me.
Okay, so where am I going?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, where the hell are you going?
This is not where I'm supposed to be, huh?
No!
Okay, where am I going, Madhog?
Okay, first of all, it's the upper level. It's the upper level of Moradane. Actually, no, I think... okay, no, actually, go back to the lower level.
God damn you!
I am not sure if it's accessible from the... Yes, it is accessible from the lower level, the bastard. The upmost
This
hot
one,
spot.
the Hot Pipe
Yes.
District?
Yes, the Hot Pipe District. It is accessible from the lower level, even though you access in it from the upper level.
Where to, Mastodon?
Okay, go
Now,
up,
keep in
right?
mind, as confusing as all this is, it's nothing compared to the original game.
And just think, you could play on the tiny 3DS screen.
No, okay, that's the best / worst part about it. That game was originally a Nintendo Wii exclusive.
I'm aware.
And I played it on the Wii as it was intended to. And
Okay,
it
so
was...
am I supposed to just keep going up, or what am I doing?
Just keep going up. You can't go wrong. I mean, there is no other direction than up.
Okay, okay, I'm at the top here.
Okay, there is supposed to be a closed door that you can only open with the key
Oh,
in
hold on,
there.
wait a minute, more up here. I'm sorry.
Okay, there is even more up! Yes! Okay, so... No, it's not the right direction. This is not... Okay, yes, you know what? This is the right direction. There is a door right there. Right there. Inside the building you just exited from. Yeah, there it is. It's open. Awesome. That is the room. We're done. Are you happy? There is a treasure trove.
I got it already.
Good. In that case, we're done. Let's do
Thanks,
something else.
Madhog.
You're very welcome. Damn it.
Come on.
This is fantastic, isn't it? such compelling playthroughs.
Okay, well, let me turn in that freaking quest.
Yes, let's do a damn quest. Let's do Wolfric.
Well, no, I had to turn in those quests first.
Oh, okay, sure. Right.
And where you...
So here's what I like about the Snarfs. Tonal whiplash.
The fact that they're, like, this greedy f***ing bastards.
Now, the fact that there is an entire civilization of them with very specific lore, traditions, and yes, even ancient ruins and manuscripts to discover throughout quests in the game. I like that they went out of their way to properly contextualize them and give them importance, not just be cute, pointless, annoying Jar Jar Binks, so to speak, even though they can still be. And there is an entire population of them now. But yes, in the original game, the Nopon race had yet to be discovered by humanity. In fact, if I'm not getting this wrong, the protagonists of the game, when they find a Nopon, they were quite surprised to find a Nopon in the first place.
Huh.
Because they had never seen anything quite like it. This fuzzy, furry, fuzzy, and cute four-ball that bounces everywhere and hits one of the characters in the face with its entire body like a basketball.
Okay, let me send off characters now.
Right.
Yes, of course.
You don't want to do the Wolfric quest?
Don't worry, I'm great at support.
Not at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. So that's interesting. So the first game introduces this mascot, essentially. And by the second one, it's an entire civilization of them. And yes,
Is it
I
the
think-
same world?
That's hard to say. I think it is in the same universe because.
Well, I know it's in the
but
same
it's-
universe
but
because it's
I
technically in the
think-
same universe as Xenosaga. If
I
you
mean,
can
I
believe
think
that.
it's a very loosely connected universe overall. It's the same amount of connection you would find between any Tales of or Final Fantasy game, really.
I'm sure we'll be.
But
But
I
I mean,
think
I know this is set in the same universe as Xenosaga. It's just, this is just more or less one planet versus, Xenosaga being kind of this, like, huge space epic. Also, weren't they trying to find Earth in the Xenosaga? It's been a long time since I've played it, so forgive me if I'm misremembering the plot of
well
that
then,
game.
Ross, I will not spoil the rest of this game to you then.
I know I will not spoil it, but there's a reason why I mentioned that.
Yes, well, what I'm trying to say is that there might be a continuity of some description, but it's more in terms of overall world building rather than a continuing narrative. So you don't really need to have played the original Chronicles before playing this one.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Although there's also Xenoblade Chronicles X as well.
I believe that one is a Japanese exclusive.
I don't know if it got a release. I think it did get a release in America. But it's a
Well-
completely different style of game. It's an open world game versus a structured JRPG.
Well, this is a pretty open world JRPG too. I mean, as much as open worldly a JRPG can get. It's no Skyrim in that regard, but it's. I would argue there is even more things to do than Skyrim, at least for me. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to kick the grate.
Damn you, Ross! oh, that's so funny. You know, I am so sad you
Callback
have not
humor.
unlocked Dahlia, the horrendously proportioned bunny girl.
Wait, there's
Because
a bunny
let-
girl in this game?
I mean, it technically counts, but it's. Oh, she's just the worst. But her quest is the absolute funniest. Because of how hideously misguided it is. Are you having fun?
I don't know what to do, so I guess
Let's
let me.
do some questing, okay?
Yes.
Let's complete a quest before we have to cut off this. Before we have to cut off the stream or
Let's
cross the
finish
stream.
Fool's Gold.
Yes! Let's do that one, please.
Okay, so I had to go to here somewhere. I don't know where in here, but let's go.
Let's do the number one Blades quest as ranked by the official Madhog's ranking system.
Okay, so one thing I do want to mention real quick, since we didn't really touch on it very much, is that this game isn't perfect. I mean specifically the fault that was. Oh, they don't tell me. Peckless Ruins, Cliffs of Aqueous Ruins.
Oh, wait, Ross, you're searching for the barrels already.
Yes.
Does that mean you've already come across Divine Punishment?
Yes.
Okay, well, Ross, I'm sorry you have, especially since I was not there to witness it with you, but that is the reason why this is the best quest for me.
Okay. Oh wow, I don't think I got that far. That's what it looks like. Looks like that I was still in this area, I just kind of got out to go back and do stuff. So I don't think I actually got to the barrel thing yet. Huh.
Are you sure? Because I'm seeing the quest says that you're looking for barrels, allegedly with her gold.
Yes, search for bills in Balkor's ruins.
By that, I mean, by that logic, you must have already fumbled upon the divine
I got the other.
punishments.
Yes, I did. I got the other 3. So I guess I haven't gotten far enough to get this particular barrel yet. I'm afraid to.
No. There was no barrel in the world tree. It's in the cliffs of Moritha, Ross. The cliffs of Moritha, not the land of Moritha.
Oh my god, it's a different place.
Ross.
They have the same name!
You disappoint me.
Meh. Long journeys.
Meh, meh.
Where to, Master?
Mama!
Okay, it's probably down here.
No. Oh wait, I think it is.
What have we here?
What's gonna try to kill me ineffectively? Oh, hi guys.
Oh,
Okay.
look, you found one of the lost Nopon siblings that I have yet to understand what the point of finding them is at all. But yes, they are scattered everywhere and you're supposed to have them regroup at Argentum.
Okay, let's say. Ah, there it is.
Treasure acquired.
Okay.
Nopon to Poppy. I'm an expert on all things Nopon. Optic nerve
Poppy
observation.
power!
Very well.
Yes.
Puppy power!
But yes, as I said, the one and only reason why Shiba's quest is my favorite is because of that one amazing moment of pure nonchalant tea-drinking badassery.
Yes.
It was pretty good. You know what? You can show that to the audience by playing the event theater in the main menu.
Let me finish off the quest first, and then, yes, I
Well,
think that's what we will
actually-
leave with.
Actually, you should play that first because that scene gets a rerun by the end of it.
Okay, how do I get to the event theater from here?
Well,
I
first
guess-
of all, save the game.
So I can't do it from here. I have to actually go
No,
to the main
you
menu.
have- Yes, you have to do that, the old song and dance. But trust me, folks and potential viewers, this is it.
How do I get to the main menu? I guess I'll have to...
Just exit the game in the... Yes, like that. Just exit the game in that fashion.
Yes, okay.
And then restart the game, and we have to do this. But trust me, people, this is worth it. This is so worth it.
This is my believing fairy face.
It's unbelievable how worth it is. It's so good. I love it so much.
But, what I was trying to say before was that, this game definitely has a very rough start to it.
I would argue that yes, the first 5 hours or so are not the best, are a bit slow, but if you compare that to any given Persona game...
Well, okay, Persona 5 also has an extremely slow starting, I freely admit that. But what I meant was, not only was it a slow starter story-wise, but it was also a very slow starter, it was actually very, how do I put it, incredibly unforgiving during the Chapter 2. God, Chapter 2 nearly made me want to stop playing this game.
I think you must have been doing something wrong. But the only reason it was so hard is because you insisted in playing the game with one character. Instead of, taking care of the important things and then having at least 2 characters.
Yes, well, I cleared out all the side quests with just Rex.
That was dumb. That was really dumb and unnecessary, Ross.
And also in that area, I just kept getting punked by all of the high-level monsters that were just outside of these quest zones, too.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. It will be extremely extremely satisfying once you get to the point in which you can just uppercut a T-Rex so hard.
I did.
Yes, it is great. It is a great feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want it to be weakened, though. I want to get to the point that I can uppercut that T-Rex legit.
Oh, at level 90. You'll get there in no time if you keep doing quests and side quests and merc missions and what have you.
Basically all the stuff that I'm doing obsessively, yes.
Exactly,
There you
like
are,
every
you black-feathered
good
ingrate.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 player.
Basically, if you're
First you
at
swing
the
us,
level of
and
the
now you have
enemies
to go
in
to
your
the place
area,
and
you're
go
doing
cry.
something wrong.
Scum and all rest.
But the other thing that I wanted
Your
to
wicked
say
meddling
was
ends
that
here and now.
there are just certain
Who this
points that
woman?
this game is just
Why she
poorly
makes so much
designed
racket?
in just enemy placement and everything.
Yes, I have something to say about the stronger enemies too, and I have both pros and cons. But for now, let's enjoy this moment.
That's hilarious.
Ha 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 ha! That's hilarious! Stupid woman bought entire island! Excuse me?
Mocking an exalted figure,
How
are you?
dare
ought to be
you?
put in your place.
Peasants!
We hope
You
you're ready for
ruffians!
your just desserts.
I just love the gal of these tiny fluffy creatures thinking they're so hot. Oh yeah, and what you gonna do about it, huh? Rock music plays.
Punishment!
And there it is!
Just punt him. Just punt.
Yeah, but we also have a replay for that. And nonchalantly goes back into the bathtub and drinks tea like a boss. This is the greatest
Step
moment
forward
in
if you'd like
video
to be a
game
forgotten
history.
page in the annals of history.
Well, at least in this game, this is it for me. Okay,
So was
you
it
can-
worth the 1.5 mil that you had to plop down to get her going?
Oh yes, absolutely. All of it. Even though it was spent buying a foolish piece of
Stay out of this, Rex. Or do you wish to receive
inhabitable
some more
isle in the middle of the cloud ocean to have her own stupid, misguided, all-women harem for tea parties.
The peon makes a fair
You know what? I mean,
We should at least listen to
let's
what I've got to
face
say.
it, she's a borderline
You
child
can't
molester.
always come with a
Basically.
That's not good. But
well,
even so,
could we
this
refuse
one
advice
moment
from
in
our
her
dear
quest
friend
makes it oh so worth it, and that is why this is
We
my
shall listen to your pitiful
favorite
pleas.
#1 ranked Blades side quest in the official side quest ranking that you can read on my Twitter.
Okay, the thing that I get though is, while it's an amusing quest, from a gameplay standpoint, it really kinda is poorly designed. Okay, so you have to get to the back end of her chart to even get this quest. Like,
Yes.
you have to, like, have almost maxed her completely out to even get
Yes,
a chance
that's
at this.
actually for most of the blades, unfortunately.
Okay.
There are some of the blades that are much more easy to get to their quests. For example, to get
Yes.
to Dahlia's quest, that's basically a requirement to unlock level 2 of the trust chart. So it's immediately available, almost
gotcha.
immediately. And most of the quests, though, most of the blades, I should say, they only have their quests available
Okay.
once they reach the 5th level of the freaking chart.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but you didn't let me finish. So why it's poorly designed is by the time that essentially you get your money back for everything that you poured into her, money has no meaning to you anymore.
That's a good thing, because one specific moment in the quest has you giving out 10,000 golds.
Yes.
I mean, that's not really.
I think that's just terrible design right there.
It's not especially brilliant design, but then again,
I mean, if it was like something that happened shortly after you grinded up all of that money from her, it would at least be like, okay, the developers were kind of like, okay, we understand that you put a lot of work into this, so here, you can kind of have it back. It's not that big a deal, you know. But in this case, it's just like, oh, yeah, you can get it back, but, you know, basically like 30 to 40 hours later.
Okay, well, I mean, giving out money was the requirement for you to get the benefits off of this one blade, which fits with her character.
Much
There
so,
was
yes.
there was no closure or lawyer-approved legality that would involve you getting your money back at any point. So I don't know why you should expect that.
I didn't
honestly.
expect it, but I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well have done it like much closer to that, if that makes sense.
Not entirely. Listen, every quest, every moment of this game has that one little nitpick waiting to happen. Like, for example, I cannot find this object because the map is not very good at pointing me where to go. Or maybe I have to go to this one location in the main quest, but along the way there are level 90 monsters that I have to avoid.
Yeah, I noticed that section. I was just like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Okay, yes, I have a problem with that. I understand, and I, yes, even enjoy the idea that the world is full of these powerful monsters that are just there for you to remind you, to be a constant reminder of how weak and insignificant you are and how large and threatening the world is. And you will get there at some point working hard, and that's good for world building reasons. But from a practical standpoint, it's not very nice to have a, say, level 81 giant gorilla just randomly attack you because you happen to look slightly towards his general direction.
Oh, that gorilla killed me so many times.
I
so
know.
many times.
I know. He's just in a very inconvenient position in the map, basically traversing half of the entire right side of Gormott.
Okay, so, but the other points that are just a problem. Okay, so in 2 separate points in this game that I counted, they actually place a notorious monster in your way when you're going through a story, going to try to progress the story, on narrow platforms, and give this monster an ability to blow you off of these narrow platforms.
Yes, that's not very nice.
That's not nice at all. So,
No.
For those that haven't been following the game, the death penalty is as slap on the wrist as it can possibly get. You just have to go back to the last, bloody,
You
quick...
still keep all of your experience points and even unlock new powers.
Exactly.
Even if you die, so
Yes.
it's not
So, I
that
mean, it's
bad,
as slap on the
thankfully.
wrist as death gets, but it's still just, like... It's really unfair, just some of these situations that the game makes. Or my personal favorite, at the beginning of this particular chapter, when they're like, remember that party that you've been relying on? Yeah, they're gone. Here, have this loser with no, that's a DPS as well. Good luck, shithead.
Well, you know, in fairness, you don't have to fight everything that
No,
comes your
you don't
way.
have to fight everything through there. That's true. But everything in there is aggressive.
Well, only if you are of a certain level
Yes,
compared to everything else.
Correct. And I was on the very tip of that aggressive range. So unfortunately, I had to fight everything, which was not fun. Because these monsters also have the ability to blow you back, and you're constantly fighting in narrow corridors, or narrow areas that you can fall off of. It's just not good.
I'll be
And another thing
honest
that
with you.
really annoys me is when you're salvaging, and you bring up a monster that has the blowback ability, and that monster knocks you off the goddamn cliff. All of your rewards just gone. Just gone!
Yes, I've had that exact crisis when I when I fished out such a monster in a pier in Morardain. That's when it happened. I have to place myself in a position where if I get blown back, I don't fall in either of the three sides in which I could fall off.
Yeah, it's just...
my suggestion, Ross, you should invest in anti-blowdown items.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just those instances like that this game just shows its lack of polish at times.
Indeed. But you know what?
So it's an incredibly enjoyable game with fantastic characters, a rewarding grind, which is something that's very difficult to do. Make a game as grindy as this without feeling grindy, if that makes sense. It's because all of it is optional. Basically, they're like, here's the main story. You can go on at any time, but you can also leave the main story at basically any point and do whatever you want. And that's what's nice about it. They give like, here's some side quests that you can do, here's some mercenary missions, or you could just go explore, do whatever you want to do. It's just
it's the Skyrim approach to questing.
It's really considerate. And of course, if you've played as many RPGs and JRPGs as I've done, some JRPGs, for example, will expect that you do every side quest in order to be appropriately leveled for main quest stuff. So after you've played a few of those, you just instinctively like, okay, I'm just going to clear out every quest I get.
Right. Not only merc missions to get experience points or side quests, you also get expandable experience points by discovering new places.
Mm-hmm.
And so this game encourages you in exploring as much as you can. Are you doing the side merc mission related to Shiba's quest?
Yeah, I have to send her on it.
Yes. Indeed.
Let us rake in the assets.
Okay, understood.
By the way, I'm glad that you have unlocked the Gothic. She's Gothic, The
Yes,
Gothic Lolita vampire queen.
Yes, I have not really used her, but I have her.
Oh, she hates all the preps, let me tell you.
Does she cry tears of blood?
I won't let you down.
No, but she's actually surprisingly cool and mature.
Did the tears,
She
flow
doesn't
down
need to
her
cry
feces?
tears of blood. She has a drawn tear on her cheek.
I didn't know. But did they go down her feces?
I would not know about that, but she's a proud member of the Girl Power stable.
Expect your
They now
Yes,
have
yes,
enough
yes.
members to
Okay,
face
so-
Los Ingobernables to Japón.
Okay, so I have a big question, okay? So, Bloody
What's
Shiba...
the Girl Power stable? That's the question, right?
She has an ability what says you can recruit people into her entourage. Like, I've never found a single person to recruit into her entourage.
You need to wait to end this quest before you have the appropriate merc missions.
To add people into her entourage?
To have people added to her tea parties. God only knows what they're doing in those tea parties.
Oh, I assume it's raunchy as heck.
You'd think so, but there are children involved, so I would hope not.
Oh man. Well, we have to wait for this.
Let's do something else then. Let's do another quest amongst.
Well, I'm without
have.
two of my more powerful blades, so I'd rather not go into anything that would involve combat at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So,
Have
Guess
you
we could
opened up that
salvage.
door yet?
Which door?
The one you just passed through in the hole of this boat?
Yeah, I've opened this one.
Oh, yes, that one.
There's a couple things I haven't opened, mainly because they're like, we need absurd Nopang wisdom. I was just like, okay, so that means I was...
Ross, you're in luck. Because Cassandra is equipped with Nopon wisdom.
Cassandra, who's that again?
The luckiest blade of them all. In fact,
Really?
you know what? Yes, you know what? I just had you unlock her, fishing her core out.
I know, but I'm looking at her abilities real quick. She really does have Nopang wisdom. Huh, I would not have thought of that.
Yes, okay, you know what? Let's spend the next half an hour leveling her up with
There's
pouch
plenty
items.
left to learn.
Okay. Do you know what she likes?
Look, it's actually very simple and far less complex than you might think, finding out what a blade likes, because once you find a category of foods or
Okay, well, she
goods
likes
that they
staple
like,
foods here, so let's give her staple foods.
not just staple foods. Once you find a category of things that she enjoys, she will enjoy everything from that category. But staple foods, it's a bit trickier because there might be specific items in the staple foods category that they might enjoy compared to others.
Okay,
So
Zeke.
all you need to do is experiment, and then once you find what they like the most, you spam the heck out of the pouch item.
Okay,
and
let's
that
give
is
you
the-
a noodle. Let's see if you like noodles.
Who knew I'd be so lucky?
She does. Well, you know what to do next, Ross.
20 minutes, then more noodles down the throat?
No. You go back in and you feed her another staple food up until she explodes. And then another, and another, and
So
another.
like this?
Yes.
Who knew I'd be so
Yes, that's what I said. You spam that pouch item button. You make love. You make sweet, sweet love to that pouch item button. You do it over and over again. It's the most mind-numbing activity in the entire game. But dang it, it's the fastest way to level up any given blade.
Who knew I'd
I
be
am
so
not
lucky?
joking.
How do I know I've done enough? And it's
Well,
only 10 per,
Who knew
right?
I'd be so lucky?
Well, after you've done a number of them, go back and check out the chart to see how the progress is going.
And you only get like 10
Who
for
knew
each
I'd
one
be
though,
so
right?
lucky?
10, faction or whatever. Or bond. It's bond or something. I forget what it's called.
Actually, it depends by the rarity of the item. The least rare gets you 10, but the highest might even give you up to 50. I checked.
She likes the tricolor bowl, which was a pain to make.
I think she likes all staple foods by now.
Yeah, but she
so-
gets... Some of them are love... Okay, she loves the noodle soup. Okay. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. That's because I'm not in the right category. Okay, so she loves all of them. Okay, do I have anything that's rarer that I have a lot of?
Give them
No.
everything you have. Just
Who
don't
knew
be
I'd be
picky,
so
just
lucky?
give them everything you have. Yes, this is a
knew I'd be
pro
so
tip
lucky?
for any Xenoblade Chronicles 2 player. If you don't want to grind your blade in the traditional
Who
way
knew I'd be
because
so
it,
lucky?
makes you waste too much time, this is the other way to do it, which is potentially finger breaking.
Hold on, let's... Oh god! No! We're not doing it that way!
What?
She needs over 1,000 to get to her next rank. No.
Oh, it's a good half an hour of bottom mashing, but
No way! I'm not doing this on stream.
Well, you can do that off stream, but you have the option open. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, I'm going to try to do other more entertaining things. No one wants to see me spam that for hours.
I mean, they've seen you wandering around completely lost in a labyrinth, so... You
At
haven't
least
done
you
that
have me
much, come to
shouting at
think
the
of it.
screen in frustration to kind of make that interesting.
You haven't really done much of anything this stream, come to think of it. You
Well,
haven't
we
even...
technically cleared out 2 quests.
Well, you completed one quest that you
I
have
completed
already...
2 of... Well, okay, so I have one that I'm just waiting on a Merc group to get back.
So let's do something
2
else.
minutes.
Oh, by the way,
Oh,
have you found all the secret places?
all the secret places and where?
Well, let me tell you. Okay, so.
Mithril, are you okay there?
Huh?
Mithril, are you okay there?
She's staying alive, Ross. I guess.
She's just like, I jump and she's just like, I got to go in the circle now.
So can you do me a favor and have Nia as the character you control, because I'm sick and tired to see Rex's green suit of nightmares.
Well, I'm not good at controlling Nia.
Wow. How can you not be good at controlling Nia? She's the easiest one to control.
Because I've never
Come on.
done it so far.
Well,
I
that's...
played the entire game as Rex.
Why would you do that when you have so much variety? Wouldn't you at least be curious?
Because I forgot how to switch characters after
Are you
I...
kidding me? It's the X button, Ross. In the menu. In the character menu. Oh my gosh, how bad could you possibly be at this?
Well, I thought Rex was just good enough.
Ugh.
Okay, so I just move her here, huh? Okay.
Thank you. Oh, you know what? You can do Neem's quest, which you already started.
But my mercenary group should get back, like, basically now. So I want to see if there's anything else I have to do for Shiva. Not Shiva. Yeah, Shiva.
Have you tried climbing a ladder or a ravine with Nia?
I have not. Okay,
With
let's
Nia
do
and-
that.
I should say, with Nia
And
on
Dromark.
top of Dromark, because he's the one climbing and he's just relaxing
Great work.
on his back. You know what? To be honest, I never have a Dromark. Yes, that's funny. I never have Dromark equipped in as the main blade because I like Nia to walk on her own 2 legs.
Okay, so anyway, this is done. It's more Merc Boards. What happens when you get your Merc rank maxed out?
Oh, you haven't yet.
I'm
you
close.
Get one final quest from your mercenary group that pretty much wraps up the story that was started with Mullet Pompadour Man.
Look for the
Which
black
I
kid
keep-
Nopang at Moradane.
Yes, the guy is hiding in Moradane, so actually, specifically, he's hiding on the rooftop of the commercial district. Yes, that's the one.
Yep.
Well, actually, the city itself has a different theme.
That was a slog.
Let us go.
Right.
They don't even give me a quest marker on this one. It's just like he's just hiding somewhere here. You need to find him and kill him.
There should be, actually. Oh, wait, let's check out the details. You haven't re-equipped... You haven't re-equipped Shiba, have you?
No, I haven't. Oh, you know,
You
that
have
might be
to-
why.
You have to equip the blade in question to complete the quest related to the bed.
Makes sense. Oh, excuse me, princess, or other such memes.
My
Q, you can have
blood
Goth
boils.
Lady right now.
Wait, okay. Fair enough.
Hankering for our banquets?
You crack me up, Ross.
I do the best!
Oh, by the way, have you figured out how to unlock the second tier of trust of the Blade Perun? Because I realize it's one of the most migraine-inducing ones.
Perun? I think I have a second one unlocked. I don't know how I did it.
Yes, well, you have to find people to help, which is seemingly random.
I guess I did so, accidentally. There was a lot of quests that required just talking to tons of random people, so I probably accidentally did that.
No, there are very specific people you're supposed to talk to, but you wouldn't know that up until you find them.
Gotcha.
Anyway, incidentally, Perun has the worst ranked quest in my official side quest Blade ranking. And the reason for that is very simple. You know the area of the old factory?
Mm-hmm.
Her quest takes place specifically in that old factory, and you have to you have to hunt down for level 50 enemies. But there is a problem now, because that factory is now, currently as we speak, roamed by level 90 plus enemies. And they have the tendency of outnumbering you and mugging you. I discovered in the hardest possible way that the best day and the best way to avoid them is not using arts at all. Because you end up accidentally hitting them in the distance, and they come rushing you, and they rush you.
Yeah.
That quest is bollocks, and I hate it like nothing else in the entire game. It's my most hated moment in...
Oh wow, there's lots of them. Okay.
Are you sure you're not just killing random guys on your way to the Nopor? The Snarf?
I mean, she said that to her bodyguards or its bodyguards or something.
By the way, here's a little pro tip for you. The best way to have our arts leveled up as fast as possible is to keep switching between blades as you fight.
Yes, I understand that. It's just I'm not used to playing this character, so...
Okay, basically as soon as you use all the arts available with one blade...
Oh yes, I'm aware of that strategy. I use it all the time with Rex. Well, I'm trying to end the fight quickly, at least.
Okay.
I'm going back to Rex. I'm used to running him a lot better.
I'm sorry that you do, honestly. I wanted to use her as soon as she became available to play as. I like her design the most. I like how she plays the most. She's the fastest, as I told you. And also, as I said, I like to be in control of the healer.
Yes, I'm not someone that so needs to have the healer on me.
At least for fighting.
Actually, I kind of get annoyed playing healer in a lot of games.
I love playing the healer, but mostly because I love going against type with the healer. I want a healer that's also good at kicking enemies' collective rear ends.
Why didn't I just equip Rock? I'm an idiot.
Oh yes, you have Rock, don't you?
Yes, I do. And I have no idea why I'm not using him.
Rock was the first one that I maxed out. Mostly because all you need to do to max him out, to contribute to his maximizing, as it were, I speak like a cool kid from the 90s. Yo,
Yes.
dude, check it out. I'm maximizing
I
my
really
options.
did not
They're
want to
totally
do this right
excellent.
now.
You have to essentially level up your merc missions. That
Yes. And I'm almost at max on that.
Yes, indeed.
I meant to switch out to rock and then I triggered this encounter too quickly.
Ah, they are.
I have
small fries.
Pyra at like max shot, so. Oh, you got launched. You got launched, son!
Do you have a smash option in one of your blades?
I do not on any of the blades I have currently equipped.
It's okay. Honestly, I'm mostly just happy with launching enemies in the air. It is so satisfying. Ah, yes.
No
You
kill
see
like
this attack?
overkill.
Indeed. So you see this attack that you do with either Mithra or Pyra?
Yeah.
Later on in the game, you get available.
A combo one with Nia.
Exactly.
See what I'm talking about unpolished? Look at this.
I can barely understand what's. Oh yes, I can see now. Yes. Well, I've seen that happening in far worse games than this.
True. I mean, I'm not
And
gonna...
also far more polished games than this. Okay, I'm going to say this to conclude my overall thoughts about the game. I know it has flaws, I know several parts of it are unpolished, but then again, this game is so huge and so big that that's mostly
Whoa, okay, that was bad.
ability. Why would you do that? That's on you, by the way.
I know! If I skip travel,
But-
I can just go right back up over here.
But
I was about to
as
say
a-
if I skip travel, I was going to respawn all of those enemies, and I didn't want to do that.
No, I don't think you would, because they are story quest enemies, not regular roaming enemies. But regardless, this game is unpolished, but it has personality.
It
And
certainly
a
does.
fun one at that. It is tonally dissonant, pretty much at every turn. Its main plot is absolutely generic JRPG fare in that regard, but the game is so good in making me like the very simplistic characters, with its attention to details, to banter and idle animations and combat and all of that.
Uh-oh.
And because I am invested in the characters, then I become invested in everything else, and thus I love it. And Divine Punishment Part 2. That just proves my point, doesn't it? Tell me that does not prove the point I was trying to make. Personality, mate.
Mm-hmm.
No! Our gold!
And all of my money. No, there is a there is a golden shower amongst all the people down there that you cannot see because they did not animate it. But you can be assured that there is in fact a golden shower. Trust us.
Hey, lady! Huh?
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I want to know where did they found this ridiculous outfit for a child
Turn
in
this?
Morardane. What's
Right?
up with that minuscule hat?
Oh, I'm sure that she is like actually a noble or something, so that's why she is like, here, you can have this
No!
money, I don't need this.
No, she was not a noble. She is supposed to be the daughter of a single mom who was struggling to come to the end of the month.
You have our sincerest thanks.
You have our
Sometimes the
sincerest
faces just look kind of really odd on some of the characters too.
Doubted you even for a moment.
They
I understand
had-
that there's a dissonance in art style because they had so many artists design the.
Oh, there is. Look at Shiba's face.
We shall
Yes.
It looks like she's trying to eat her own face
No.
somehow.
I mean, again, I know that's because they had guest artists do all of the
Yes,
other like
and they
rare
all
blades.
look so different and they don't mesh well together.
For we have found something
and it's very noticeable and distracting on top of that.
It
Also,
definitely
no!
leads to some.
Sheba, no! No!
We were
Sheba,
wrong to
don't.
focus solely on gathering an entourage and holding magnificent parties. What we really should have been seeking was the unblemished hearts of
Shiva? Something more to tell us?
inviting these children to our tea party is more than enough to make this.
I understand this is supposed to be some kind of like touching scene of her making a realization,
Well then,
but
No, it's really funny. It's really meant to be funny. Honest.
she's
Would you
just
mind if I joined you as well?
she
absolutely. The more the merrier.
She's a child molester.
congratulations, you are now a Lolacon.
Well, she literally meant tea parties,
Yes.
as it were, at the end. So at least there's that. Oh my gosh, it's my twin sister from another dimension, and she's not wearing a tiny ridiculous hat.
Well, to be fair, this is a JRPG, so that means there's probably a grand total of like 6 different female models in the entire game, so everyone's a clone
And
now.
also male models. But you know what the best part of this is? Since there are a lot of cutscenes, fully voiced, by the way, fully voiced, fully dubbed, fully acted
Oh, that's something
cutscenes.
that we never really touched on in our little analysis here. The
Yes, but
actual
since there are
acting in
so
this
many
is
cutscenes, special.
yeah, okay. So I know you don't get exposed to it very much, or you're actually overexposed. I'm sorry, but you live in Europe, so that means most of the English most things released in English are released in British English in your
No,
region.
actually, I almost never play a game that has this very British voice acting. I always get the American versions of some things, or alternatively, if it's Skyrim, then there are professional voice actors who try to sound good at what they do. But what I really like about this game is that none of the voice actors, well, save maybe a couple and One-Eyed Monster, which is to say Zeke. That's
Yes.
his name, by the way.
Yes.
They are not good at all. They are not good at all. But you know what? I love it. Because it adds an unexpected layer of personality to the proceedings. You're about to start this guy's mission now.
Wait, how did this trigger? They just like randomly went from one Blade quest to another. That was bizarre.
That has never happened to me, but apparently you needed to be in the same place, which is to say, the local inn.
Huh. But what I was about to say was, I've never seen like a JRPG, especially a Japanese game, giving a dub, a British English dub. So that adds so much more personality that this game wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes, that's my point exactly. If I were to play this game in the original Japanese audio, I would have been exposed to professionally done and good sounding dialogue, no doubt, but it would have been completely generic. With this, I get a flawed, completely bonkers, and sometimes even oddly at odds with itself kind of localization that adds an unexpected layer of personality to it. For example, it's one thing to have Nia being the one who likes to berate everyone who ever uttered a breath, so to speak, but to have her be so delightfully Irish when she berates people, or having her saying, "And we're here," once we get to a new location, that's brilliant, and I love it. The unique quirks of the voice actress of Nia end up adding quirks to the personality of the character herself, thus contributing to my love for said character. And I love this character so much, I commissioned an artist to draw me a picture of her.
I'm so close to maxing out her shot. I need to find Amu Milk Earl Grey, which I have no idea where you would buy that at. I haven't found the place that offers it.
Or you can send her on a quest and she will eventually get it herself. In fact, speaking of quests...
Well, I know she has to do... She has like 5 quests that she has to do, which I
You
can't...
can send her onto those quests and she should get that last 2 checkbox checked out.
Well, I can't do that yet. I don't have enough powerful blades that are on quests right now. Basically, all of them are like, oh, you also have to have super powerful blades going with her.
No, you just have to have female blades and blades that very specifically operate under the necessary
Okay, so
requirements.
I need to have 3 characters with Keen Eye.
Oh, well...
3 characters with focus. Oh god, I don't even think I have 3 characters with focus. Besides, like, Pyra Mithra.
Like I said, Ross, you needed to get more blades, which means more slot machine lottery, which is very annoying. Okay, so...
Do I have any rare crystals on me?
We talked pretty much about everything. Let me tell you how utterly stupid, contrived, annoying, obnoxious, and
I don't even bother to hatch common crystals anymore.
You know, you could just randomly activate them up until you get one out of sheer luck. That's how I got most of my rare blades anyway. Just
is there any way that I can just fucking, like, send them away immediately?
Yes. Okay.
Without going into another menu?
No. No. Unfortunately, no. But you know what? You should always have more generic common blades.
Well, I had filled up on them, like, a lot.
Yes, well, you can use them to refill whatever bravery or compassion or truth or justice chip that you happen to consume in the vain and fruitless attempt to get the luck.
Also, one other thing that I want to say is, I don't know why they opted for a 5-man party in this game. Okay, so let me try to throw this out here. So, mechanically, this game is it adheres to the holy trinity of tank, DPS, and healer. So you have 3 party slots for each, and they basically expect you to have one of each on your party at a given time, or one character that's really good at it. So Rex is obviously supposed to be your DPS. You can, but they're not as good in that role. So Rex, for example, is is spec'd as your DPS as a rule of thumb. Nia's supposed to be your healer, and Tora is your tank. However,
it's not. He's the royal warrior. He has 2 tank units and 1 attack units, which means he cannot be a full tank. That's why you have the
Morag,
option of Morag. Yes,
Morag, who can be true tank. Although you could spec Poppy to be a tank too, the 3rd Poppy, I should say. But okay, but my point is both Tora and Morag fulfill the same role. And then you have Zeke over here that is redundant with Rex.
He can be a jack of all trades, honestly.
That's what he said as, but his starting blade is an attacker.
Yes.
For example.
And actually, I think Pandoria in the long run becomes the most, the strongest blade of them all.
But my point is that they specifically give one character the ability to become another character's blade.
Yes.
Nia, who is also the only dedicated healing character you get. Now keep in mind that you have Morag and Zeke that fill redundant roles, but there is no backup healer.
So the idea is that you turn Rex in both a healer and an attacker. He can become that actually now that he is the master
of all
driver.
blades, yes, but
Yes, and whatnot. And
But-
since I understand what the point of the complaint is, and I agree. In fact, I refuse to use Nia as a blade, not really just because of the mechanical reasons that you just brought up, but because I like Nia more than anyone else. And as far as I'm concerned, I like my teams to be centered around her, and then I usually exchange the other two units and I shuffle them all together, but I always am sure to have my main healer in the group. And look, in my new game plus of Xenoblade 2, where it gives you the opportunity to actually detach from your active party your main blades, the ones you could not do in the original playthrough, I tried to mix it up. I tried to, say, make Rex the healer of the group and have Nia being focused as a attacker, master fighter, as it were. And while she can be a pretty damn good master fighter, which really is a testament to her versatility as a character, she really is the best, Rex could not be as good as a healer because even though I gave him all the healing blades that Nia has, he cannot use the same straight-up healing spell. He can use the art that allows you to generate potions from your enemies, which is really useful, but he cannot use the straight-up healing spell.
yes.
To heal the whole team, which means that he cannot be the master healer I wanted him to be. On the other hand, I find no such problems with Zeke in terms of what I want him to be. I can have him be the tank or the jack of all trades or the royal or wild cavalier, which is to say 2 attacking blades and 1 tank, or 2 tanks and 1 attacking blade, and whatnot. And he would still be as efficient as he usually is. I think my conclusion after analyzing these characters and their abilities throughout close to 300 hours of total gameplay is that Nia is the best at healing, and Rex is best at attacking, Morag is the best at tank, Tora is the second best at tank with a strong attacking blade, and then there is Zeke, who can pretty much be anything but a healer. So he's very much the jack of all trades of the situation.
But I guess
Which is not as good as having a 4th available class entirely, but
I assume you
think
don't
that
get
maybe-
any other. I assume you don't get any other permanent party members, do you?
No, you only get 5 party members, which is interesting considering that I think the original game had up until 9 party members. But then again, the original game was built around a different system that did not account for blades. In fact, what was really infuriating going back to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, what was really infuriating about that, instead of bonding with your blades, in order to make the most of your battle gameplay and active party members, you had to bond them. As in, you have to bond with them, as in each individual character had to individually bond with every other character in the party, which was insanity.
Let's get going.
Absolute insanity.
Sounds it.
and I'm glad it's gone for the sequel. I'm so glad about that. Also, I despise Tiger. It's a really badly designed and programmed arcade that I am basically supposed to play if I want to get Ether to improve the basic stats of Poppy, which is bollocks! You don't make your player go through a stupid optional minigame to unlock important elements for your main game. That's stupid! That's asinine! I hate this so much! Yes.
I actually don't mind Tiger as an actual game.
You know what? I did the 5 levels, 1 level each once, and then I stopped doing it because it turns out it's really not necessary. Poppy is strong and efficient in either way, so I don't care.
Did not mean to do that.
I really hate this game. This mini-game, I should say. And I was much more infuriated about it the first time I found out that I had to do this in order to unlock certain features, but that was before I realized that I really did not need to do them, because she would get strong anyway in the traditional manner by which every blade gets strong. So really everything else about it is optional, which I am thankful for.
I'm sucking. I'm usually better at this.
So going back to something I was trying to say about 10 or to 20 minutes ago. So when I joked about those two twin characters, they were basically the same model. What's hilarious about this game is that, yes, they reuse character models constantly. That's nothing new with JRPGs. We have a lot of NPCs who are just basically the same 5 different models for both female and male characters. But what's hilarious about it is that since these characters are used constantly for quests with their own fully voiced cutscenes, the game basically puts a giant magnifying lens on the very concept, on the very idea that all of these characters are the same bloody character model, and it becomes so noticeable, it's actually hysterical. For example, there is this one little girl who shows up for the Dahlia quest, which I really do hope you unlock Dahlia at some point just to witness how absolutely abominable that design is and what her quest entails. In another quest altogether having to do with Cosmos, the same little girl shows up, but this time she's wearing glasses. So, it's a completely different character!
Is Cosmos only unlocked after beating the game?
No, Cosmos is one of the original blades, but it's the last one that I was able to unlock. And
boy, this is bad. I'm one hit from dead. Oh no.
You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean about this game? Oh, that crab is so cheap too.
Yes.
Anyway, so yes, Cosmos was the very last blade from the original set I managed to unlock. And honestly, it's pointless to get...
It's just RNG. There's no special way of getting Cosmos, it's just RNG.
You have to do the lottery, unfortunately, and hopefully...
So that means conceivably you could get her very early.
Yes, and I don't suggest to get her very early at all, for the simple reason that you can only unlock the last layer of her trust chart, so to speak, by completing her quest. And you can only unlock and get to her quest when you are almost at the very end of the game, of the main game. In fact, of all the
Oh god,
blades,
this is taking mercy on me. It gave me 2 invincibility power-ups in a row.
maybe they are taking into account that you suck at it.
Maybe.
As I was saying, your quest is available at almost at the very end of the game, at the tail end of Chapter 9, in fact. And she is... her quest, I should say, is... of all the side quests, of all the blades that are available, it is the one that you get at the latest point in game compared to everything else.
I might make it this time.
Was it worth it?
We'll see.
No.
I got a no damage run, that's good. Nope. Was not worth it. Anyway.
Like I said. Okay, so I think that is a good, underwhelming moment to end the stream.
Yeah, I think it's pretty set right now. Also, what is this game's fetish with with robot maids?
Ross, you must have realized from the beginning that Poppy was basically Poppy, I should say. Poppy. Which has puppies.
Yes.
Poppy was Tora's fetish robot.
Obviously.
Which amazes me and baffles me that this little furry sidekick snarfball has a fetish for human girls. Which is contradicted by a optional cutscene involving him, Zeke, and Morag, in which she does not realize that Morag is a woman.
Yes, I remember that. Also, that was hilarious.
She's dressed as a military male person, but I don't buy it for a second because he clearly knows how a woman looks like because he built one.
To be fair, he built only childish women until...
No, he didn't.
No, do you see this Poppy cutie? The one that's on screen right now? Only happened after you would get that
I know, but
quest.
She is Cutie Pie.
Cutie Pie, yes.
As in the Greek pie.
Yes, I know.
It's the stupidest visual pun imaginable. I love it. Okay, but here's the thing. He's had a bunny costume all
yes,
this
he
time.
did have the bunny costume.
Poppy. And he clearly knows that he's built a female human type of android. So that is why I don't fully buy that he wouldn't know or recognize a human female when he sees one, even though said human female is wearing military outfits. Because freaking this is the oldest joke in anime history, and it's not funny, damn it. I've seen
Actually,
it
basically,
too many times.
One thing I do want to mention is that, strangely, really strangely, this game only pulls the anime shenanigans as a whole in just one chapter, which is bizarre to me. It's just like on chapter 4 they were like, oh crap, this is a Japanese game, right? Cramming as many anime tropes as we can before we have to get serious with the plot again.
Yes, and then we have to bust out the maid robot a second time when it's not tonally appropriate.
I know, it's just like... this would have been a slam dunk if you had used this kind of in a self-contained place without any serious vibes going down there. But both of them, it's just like, again, trying not to spoil anything major in the story, but you have a character's tragic tragic backstory where we're supposed to really feel for them, juxtaposed to giant maid robot, and then the improved version of a giant maid robot ends up nearly killing a plot critical NPC.
Yes, and the entity responsible for the giant maid robot that almost killed an important NPC is basically Jabba the Hutt in a Snarf form, which, by the way, is going to have its own side quest later on, which ties to what I like to call the Snarfy Plier saga.
Snarfy Plier.
I have said too much. You will find out in due time.
Okay, but it's just weird. Normally when a game goes a JRPG really wants to play up the anime tropes, it'll do so consistently throughout the entire experience.
Yes, so this game has a pretty huge and evident tonal problem, which becomes even more transparent when you sandwich a important critical plot point, including the very ominous and foreboding revelation of a character's backstory through a silent black and white cutscene, and you sandwich that in between giant maid robot attack and the
one-eyed monster. Hold on, and the one-eyed monster line, and the hot spring situation, all happening in this chapter.
Well, to be fair, the hot spring was the most understated hot spring scene in any game or anime I have ever
and
seen.
it actually kinda served the purpose besides pointless fan service. For once, it actually kinda had a reason to be there.
But then you have Mithra. She went to sleep in the boys' room and she wakes up and oh no, she overreacts and throw objects at them.
And I was just like, why? Why is this here? Why did you just start being a Japanese game and then suddenly forget it after like chapter 5?
And then there is Dromark, who was sleeping with a cute little two-tailed sleepy hat, which was the funniest thing. I love this game. I love this game and I embrace it with all the flaws and the tonal dissonance. There isn't quite any other JRPG that gave me this many disparate feels that Xenoblade has managed to give me. I was so in love with the concept of this game existing and everything it does right and even everything it does wrong. I even ended up forgiving some of the more egregious directions that the story... Oh my gosh, she's doing it again! Staying alive, baby!
This will never get old.
See, that's what I mean. And it's even better when both her and Tora are dancing at the same time. It's really good for what it is. And what it is a game flawed, but with a personality to feel an entire cloud ocean, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
I am 90% sure that some of the animators here must have sneaked in dubbing. I assure you, I must have caught some of the Blades dubbing while they thought nobody was looking, but I was never able to catch them on photo, which bugs me.
But even as far as I am, Poppy is still my favorite character in this game.
I mean, Poppy, I like her, she's cute, but I am not completely behind her as a character simply because she is literally somebody's fetish robot, and that is a stigma that I can never separate from the actual character. Especially not now. Now she's both the best and the worst.
I mean, she basically is like, yeah, I mean, basic tours are like, well, I might as well just fucking embrace it now.
Yes, and that is the best thing I can say to this game. To put a nice little tidy ribbon at the end of this analytical journey that we have taken, is that this game embraces its own silliness instead of trying to deviate from it or trying to masquerade it as something far more pretentious or serious. Like, say, any given Final Fantasy game. Except for 9, which is good. Or Persona 5, for example, which is also a game
yes,
that...
we know that you hate Persona 5.
I mean, Persona 5, you would think it might have a great personality. It looks snappy and polished and all that. And you might think that it knows how to have fun with itself. What with the silly-looking, giant-headed Pokemon cat mascot. But the truth is that game takes itself so seriously, it pretty much destroys any chance to have fun with it. And the worst part that I really come to despise about it is that, okay, you know what? It's inevitable, given how close they come out compared to each other. It's inevitable to compare them, given that basically this game also uses personas.
Basically the two huge JRPGs released in the exact same year that are just filled to the brim with personality and content.
Yes, but I would argue that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a better Persona game than Persona 5. Simply because the personas in this game, for once, they all have their own specific personalities, and you get to explore said personalities by going through their quests and their own personalized cutscenes. Whereas in Persona 5, they are just cosmetic powers with a appearance, essentially, and they serve no other purpose than that. And they are functionally used in the same way here, but in this game they go out of their way to make you care for them.
True. I mean, every one of these characters has a personality. I'm surprised at how endearing Pandoria is, for example.
Oh yes, she definitely turned out to be very adorable. They really have done a good work in making me like these characters, even though they are very simple characters.
They are very simple characters, but when you have a cast as large as this, simplicity can be a good thing.
Yes, but they have a good dynamic and they have good in-game banter and the idle animations. When I think of the characters in Persona 5, I think of really boring high school archetypes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say high school archetypes, but yes, you basically hit the nail on the coffin. And
I do want to say there's one other thing that these two games share, really share. I mean, actually, the one thing that you can almost say indisputably with how awful Persona 5 did it, that Persona 5 still managed to do it better, and that's the true bad guy. Like the one guy that you're like, oh, this guy's not going to be a bad guy down the line. Okay, he's totally a bad guy.
Okay,
because
yes.
Persona 5 has they out the traitor so hard so early. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like, all of its villains are drawn like villains. And they don't even, like, you can't be surprised when one of these characters like, I wonder if this guy is evil, referring to a specific powerful figure that may have unleashed the evil upon the world to begin with.
Oh no, he actually, factually, historically did, and everybody knows it.
Yes.
Which is baffling that he is in power to begin with, but then again, we live in the Trump era, so there you go.
I mean, literally, he's like, I have these two glowing crystals in front of me. One is glowing green, the other is glowing jet black. You know what? I'm going to take the jet black one.
He clearly did not have anybody to teach him that emerald is green.
Oh no. Oh god, that's so funny.
I love that cutscene, by the way. It's green, you idiot! Emerald is green! It's a Monty Python sketch gone wrong.
Oh, I forgot about that cutscene. You just like that was well played, Madhog. I don't think we could possibly end it off of a higher note than that. So I am bidding everyone adieu as I catch my breath.
I'll say it slowly for you, just so we're clear. Get the blade with the emerald.
Console doodle, sir.
What?
I'm not exactly sure what colour emerald is supposed to be.
Oh, give me strength! It's green, you idiot! Emerald is green! Like this! Green! Get it, ya clod?
Oh, green! I get it now. So, emeralds are green.